All right, so I think this is the last of it. But I kind of want to get it out because it might be good for reference later. Who knows? I may need to come back. So anyway, so like I said, I woke up to that and they had been going in on me, right? So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, every day, it's something. Every day, every moment, like no matter if I'm working. And it was like constant. So where like, I'm like, all right, I don't know what else to do because if I keep going in, eventually they're going to catch me with something that they're planning. So I'm like, all right. So now I'm like really uncomfortable, especially because the night before the little girl told me that I'm going to get fired. And I already knew that that's what they were gearing up to do. Two, I like look into my pay stubs, right, to check. And I'm like, okay, so I went to check something because I knew payroll was coming up, right? So this lady never told me that I had to call in my pay or anything like that, but would like yell at me every week and be like, where's your pay? And I'm like, I don't understand because I'm filling out the sheets. And I was. And I took pictures of that, just so you know, lady. Took pictures of the sheets, the sign-in sheets that I was filling out. So why everybody else knew to call you at a certain time and I didn't know, right? Even my first check, my first check through Paychecks was about rent time, right? So I'm like, all right. So before we went through Paychecks, she was cash apping me or Zelling payments. That's what it said. Like, it makes no sense. Like, and it seems scammy, right? And not professional whatsoever, right? We didn't even have a receptionist. I would have to take care of children, like 8 children at one time and babies, and have to do a fucking tour. Make that make sense, right? Why is the owner not there? Why is she off in LA or wherever the hell else she was, talking about she's at her other school, dealing with a lice situation? I wonder how that happened. I wonder how that dirty shit happened. Maybe proper sanitation is needed. Just a thought. So yeah, so I'm like, so I was upset. Like, the little girl told me that I was gonna be fired, and then like every little thing that they're doing is like geared up towards me. Like everything, right? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then I worked with somebody the day before, and she even looked, she's like, Jackie, I don't want to be liable for this. And I said, I know. I said, I'm well aware, because a few days before that, they sent a little girl home with a bruise on her back. This would upset me. They sent a little girl home the other day with a fucking bruise on her back, and I have proof of that too, just so you know. And in the group chat talking about, hey, why isn't this documented? I don't know. Why don't you ask the other fucking people that aren't supposed to be watching children? Why did a kid go home with a bruise on their back and then it wasn't documented? Explain that to me. Oh, and by the way, you want to play any kind of games with me? I take pictures of every documentation that I make, just so you know. So don't try to destroy any of those files or anything. Like I said, this is not my first rodeo, and you guys leave breadcrumbs as big as fucking toast. Yeah, so that didn't make any kind of sense to me. Like, I just kept getting sick at the place. Like I said, I got norovirus, I got strep throat, that I'm pretty sure that a lot of people had throughout there because they didn't clean properly. Of course it's going to go around. If you're not cleaning properly, if you're cleaning the floor. With the days that I wasn't there, I would come in, the floor would look gross. Oh, I'll post the pictures too of what the floor would look like. And you tell me if a floor is supposed to look like that. And if that's acceptable for children to be crawling all over the place and shit like that. I'm pretty sure it's not. But anyway, like I said, like the whole bottle thing, like they were like, I knew where they were looking for the second bottle, and I'm like, oh, the second bottle for the baby is in, and I told them the exact location. Miraculously, they found the second bottle, or the third bottle that they didn't mention, that the mother wasn't looking for, and they didn't mention. It was now the third bottle, because I waited and I was like, oh, the second bottle's in, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh my God, we found the second bottle in the crib with milk. No, you didn't. You set that up. You made that up. All of that was being made up, just like the table thing. And you think you're so smart, but you're not. So anyway, I didn't want to come in, right? Due to the harassment. I did not want to come in. And anybody in the right, that's bullying, that's toxic behavior, that's harassment. That's not okay. I don't know who taught you to be a employer, but that's not how you treat your employees or anybody. For whatever reason you may have, you're gonna fuck yourself up all because, again, that goes back to ego, because you can't take it. Yeah, so anyway, so the next day, the lady doesn't even really wait for me. She texts at like 4 a.m. Where are you? Right? At 4 a.m. You're worried about me, but you're texting. Doesn't even wait for my reply and sends me automatically, send me your hours so that I can send you your final paycheck. She didn't wait to see if I was okay. She didn't wait to see if I was hospitalized. Nothing. She didn't care. She was waiting for that, and I knew that. And then on top of it, not even that, like, you can't even just like let me leave, like, and give me my money, right? So I send her my hours, and she tries to get petty because I'm like, whatever, like, at this point I'm letting it roll. I know who you are, I know what you are, I don't care. You are nothing to me, you're a nobody, and God's gonna handle you, because whatever you do behind closed doors, God sees everything. So your business is not gonna flourish. You might get like people in there, but the second you get that place up and going, you get the 50, 60 kids that you wanted, guess what? Something's gonna happen to where it's gonna be wiped out from under you. That's just how that works, and that's what you've been building yourself upon. The wise man builds his house upon the rock, right? You've been building on quicksand this whole time, bitch. You have. Yeah, so anyway, so she doesn't even wait. And then on top of it, has some lady call me. One of my coworkers called me to try to bait me into saying that I left, right? So the girl basically like is like, oh, I'm concerned about you, this, that, and the other thing. And you know what? If you were genuinely concerned about me, but it sounded like somebody was in the background talking to her. So, you know, I let the lady have it. I'm like, yeah, she's a bitch. She's this, that. I don't care. You are. You are, whatever. I don't know which, right? So then on top of it, right? So she's asking me, like, pumping me for information. Then she goes, oh, so what you're saying, right? She basically, like, outs herself. She's like, so what you're saying is that you purposely did a no call, no show. What's that in your shirt, Julie? What the fuck is in your shirt, Julie? Because are you wearing a wire, Julie? Are you wearing a wire? Because it seems like you're wearing a fucking wire. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, so what? I said, no. I said, no, ma'am. I said, no, ma'am. What you're saying is that. What I'm saying is that I was terminated, which I was terminated. I never said I was out. You don't have that documented. And Julie didn't get the information that you wanted. So I was terminated. So I don't know what your deal is. I guess you want to make me suffer. That's classic narcissist behavior. Maybe you should go look into getting yourself checked out. Check into some kind of like help. Because it makes no sense to me. You're going to fuck your whole business up and be like out in the poorhouse watch yourself because of what you did to somebody else. You thought you were coming for a nobody. But a lot of times God will hide you in plain sight. So I might be out of job for a little bit. Been there before. And that's the thing, like, fuck this rat race shit. I am done. I want my peace, whatever that may cost. I want my peace. So I guess you banked on me just keep coming in, because I feel like if I would have went any further, like something, they just kept setting me up. So by the way, any lawyers interested in taking on this case, I would have no problem no problem talking to you about it. And just like, you are the worst kind of people. Such a grimy person. So gross and disgusting. Anyway, I'm free. And my intentions were good, so my karma's clear. What about yours?